Okay, welcome to Movie Scene Analysis, where we take a certain scene from a famous movie and we dissect it and analyse it. We look at the structure of that scene much in the same way that you'd look at Paper 1 Question 3 for AQA. How has the writer structured the text to interest the reader? We're changing that to how has the director structured the scene to interest the audience. The examiner for AQA tells us that we should have a cinematic overview of the extract when we're writing this question. So we're going to do that for real. We're going to look at it as a movie. Now we're looking today at It, the 2017 version, which is really accurate to the original novel by Stephen King. If you read, which hopefully you will in a bit, if you read the extract from the opening and you watch the scene, it's almost identical. So it's a great scene to analyse and start with. What you can do, if you look in the description here, there's a link that will take you to this extract so you can read Stephen King's opening and then answer the question that follows on structure. Everything I go through in this session will help you to do that. As well as that, there's also a link to a Google form you can fill in where you can submit your answers, but as well as that, you can request scenes and request movies that you'd like us to look at in future sessions. So if there's another movie that you're really interested in, as long as it's appropriate, we'll look at that movie. So we're going to start with the opening from It, which is, as I said, really atmospheric, really opens well in terms of the horror. So let's take a look. Okay, so this scene begins with a boy in the rain. So we've instantly got pathetic fallacy, haven't we? It's dark, and so that perhaps foreshadows the dark mood that's to come when we finally see the clown and the horror that's to come. So we know straight away we've got darkness there. Let's watch on. Okay, I'm just going to stop it here because here we have this boat, this paper boat, which is like a motif all the way through. We see this boat right at the start, and perhaps this immediately establishes something about the boy. Paper's fragile. Maybe it represents the fragility of the boy. He's so easily broken, much like this boat. Perhaps this boat also being quite aimless, meandering through the streets in the rain. So that could represent the boy too. Okay, so the boy is running at this point and he's happy, he's laughing as he's running, and perhaps that's a deliberate attempt from the writer or the director because he's created a sense of innocence about this boy, and that makes the later attack on the boy even more devastating. The fact that it's juxtaposed with the innocence of the boy, we feel more emotive, we feel more sorry for this character. Notice as well the colour in this scene. We've got the darkness, everything's dark except for the boy and his yellow hood and his yellow jacket. So he really stands out here, and yellow could be symbolic, couldn't it? Again, yellow could be a motif. Yellow represents danger, doesn't it? You could represent sickness and disease with the colour yellow, so perhaps it represents the corruption that happens later on. Now notice just here he's gone under some danger bollards and caution signs. Again, represents the caution. We're constantly reminded as an audience or as a reader that danger's to come, and he's gone right under those, representing perhaps that he is avoiding the warning signs all around him, creating a sense of tension for us as an audience. Okay, he's fallen over here again. Could be a foreshadowing technique from the writer here or from the director. Banged his head, injury, representing the violence that's to come. We haven't mentioned the rain yet either. Rain is a device from the writer. Often, don't forget that pathetic fallacy is a structural device, and it'll represent the mood, the depression, the darkness. And obviously, the rain often represents depression, doesn't it? And so we know the later mood that's to come here. Okay, so I've stopped him right in the middle of his There's turmoil there. So the boat's gone down a drain. Again, could be foreshadowing and representing what's going to happen to the boy, the loss of the boat and the loss of his innocence throughout this scene here.
Bill's gonna kill me.
Notice that we're zooming in here into the drain in order to create a sense of tension again, but also to shift the focus from the boy to what's in this drain. Okay, so we've just seen the shocking eyes here. Now think about the colour of the eyes. The eyes are yellow and the boy's jacket is yellow. And again, this could be symbolic of the connection between the two and also representing yellow as a motif. So think about the shifts all the way through this. Really, really important, and we'll go into a bit more depth on this later. So let's summarize what we've analyzed in this opening scene. We haven't obviously got to the devastating bit. I wouldn't do that on this channel. However, you're welcome to watch the movie. It's available on all sorts of streaming devices that you can get hold of. But we're going to look at this question here. How has the writer structured the text to interest the reader? So if you remember, in the beginning, we immediately establish a dark mood with the darkness of the scene. We have the pathetic fallacy of the rain to create this depressed atmosphere. We've got that paper boat. We narrow the focus with the paper boat to represent the fragility of this boy. And we have the innocence of the boy with him laughing and running, which contrasts with the later attack. Notice I'm using words like earlier and later to link all the way through. In the middle, the focus shifts from the boy to the drain, which emphasizes his doom. This is where he's heading. The focus also widens, if you remember, to the whole street, this empty street, to perhaps represent his vulnerability and his isolation and his smallness, that he is alone and therefore he is in danger. And the end, we focus the focus narrows to those eyes, those sinister eyes, which obviously creates tension, but also a yellow linking the boy to the clown, but also representing as a motif perhaps danger, the colour yellow representing danger, but also perhaps we link it to disease, the corruption of this boy's innocence. So lots and lots to analyse there. And if you want further guidance on paper 1 question 3, just watch the 2-minute talk through and that will allow you to understand better how to answer this question.